Chairete. This is Abbey Greek, biblion ta prаўτον, chapter beta. This is a lesson on first and second declension adjectives of classical Attic Greek. We will be covering 3 and 2 termination adjectives. We'll start with the 3 termination adjectives, like agathos, on. So there are 3 separate endings for the 3 genders, masculine, feminine, and neuter. There's the os ending, the eta or long alpha ending for the feminine, and then the neuter uses the on ending. So 1, 2, 3, 3 terminations, 3 endings. So 3 separate declining tracks, 1 for each gender. So the masculine follows the second declension masculine, the feminine follows the first declension feminine, and the neuter follows the second declension neuter. Notice for the feminine you can have either an eta, which is the more common ending, so it will follow the eta class. So you'll have etas like here all the way down in the singular. The dual and the plural, those are regular, those are normal. So if you need to review your first declension, go ahead and do that. If the stem of the adjective ends in either a vowel or rho, then you'll have the long alpha. And the long alpha, of course, because it's the ultima, can affect the accent. Speaking of accent, many of these adjectives, not all, but many of them are oxytones. That is, they do accent the ultima with an acute. Remember that adjectives are they have persistent accent, meaning that they want to keep the accent as it appears in the nominative. Keep also in mind that oxytones of the first and second declension, they circumflex their genitives and datives in the singular, dual, and plural, so that is all numbers. So what is an oxytone becomes a paraspomenon. So remember, second declension masculine, first declension feminine, second declension neuter. Let's run through the declension of agathos, on. So the masculine, nominative, agathos, agathou, agathoi, agathon, agathé. For the feminine, agathé, agathés, agathei, agathén, agathé. For the neuter, agathon, agathou, agathoi, agathon, agathon. Let's go to the dual. Keep in mind, second declension masculine, first declension feminine, second declension neuter. Agatho, agatoin, agatoin, agatho, agatho. Agatha, agatain, agatain, agatha, agatha. Agatho, agatoin, agatoin, agatho, agatho. And for the plural, keep in mind, second declension masculine, first declension feminine, second declension neuter. Agatho, agathon, agatois, agathous, agathoi. Agatai, agathon, agatais, agatas, agatai. Agatha, agathon, agatois, agatha, agatha. Now, first declension feminine nouns always circumflex the on ending in the genitive plural. It's always paraspomenon. Now, for adjectives, that does not hold true. Yes, it is circumflexed here, but only because the word is naturally an oxytone. It wants to accent the ultima. And because oxytones of the first and second declension are paraspomenon in the genitives, it's paraspomenon here. If it weren't an oxytone here and the accent were somewhere else, it wouldn't automatically jump to the on in the genitive plural feminine. That's for nouns, not for adjectives. All right, moving on. Here's another three termination adjective, only this time chose one where the stem ends in a vowel, so you can see how the long alpha works in the feminine. So let's run through axios, axia, axion, which means worthy of, and it takes an apexegetical genitive, worthy of something, just like it does in English. So starting with the nominative masculine, we'll use second declension masculine, first declension feminine, second declension neuter endings. And here we go. Watch the accent. The accent wants to be here on the antepenult, making it properispomenon. Now, if we change the quantity of the ultima from short to long, then the accent can no longer stand on that antepenult. It's like the word anthropos. In the genitive anthropou, the accent jumps to the penult, like it does here. So, axios, axiou, axioi, axion, axie, axia, axias, axiai, axion, axia, axion, axiou, axioi, axion, axion. For the dual, axio, axioin, axioin, axio, axio, axia, axiein, axiein, axia, axia, axio, axioin, axioin, axio, axio, and for the plural, axioi, axion, axiois, axios, axioi, axiai, axion, axiais, axias, axiai, axia, axion, axiois, axia, axia. Take a look here at the feminine genitive plural. It is not circumflex on the on. Remember, that is a thing for nouns, not for adjectives. This word is paroxytonic. Note also, keep in mind that for the nominative masculine and feminine, those ois and eyes, also for the vocative, they count as short for purposes of accentuation. So even though normally diphthong, you would think, well, that's got to be long. The quantity for that has got to be long. Nope, final oi here. Nothing else and no letter, so that's why ois, this is long. Ois is considered long for accentuation. That's why the accent goes here. But oi, dangling by itself at the end, it's considered short. All right, so agatos on, that is a three termination, first and second declension with eta for the feminine. Axios, on, that is a three termination, first and second declension with a long alpha for its feminine because its stem ends in a vowel. Let's look at a two termination. So this is where the masculine and the feminine get squished into one, os. So the feminine looking endings go away and are replaced entirely by masculine looking endings, and the neuter keeps its separate track. So the masculine and the feminine will look like the second declension masculine, and the neuter will keep looking like the second declension neuter. Once again, check out the accent for adikos, on. So the accent persistent wants to be here, wants to be properispomenon on the antepenult, but if the quantity of the ultima changes from short to long, like it does in the genitive and dative, then that accent can't stand on the antepenult and must jump to the penult and become paroxytone. Here we go. Adikos, adiku, adikoi, adikon, adike, and the neuter adikon, adiku, adikoi, adikon, Atikon. For the dual, adiko, adikoin, adikoin, adiko, adiko. The neuter, adiko, adikoin, adikoin, adiko, adiko. No, that was not the simulation messing up. The forms are the same. And the plural. Adikoi, adikon, adikois, adikus, adikoi. Adika, adikon, adikons, adikois, adika, adika. Arista. That is it for first and second declension adjectives of 3 and 2 terminations. Make sure to review your noun endings and thereby extension your adjective endings.